means just remember a data set which is size is more than say suppose 10 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB or 40 GB. Okay, so those amount of data, how to compute those amount of data in a computing environment. As you all know that like the computing environment, the processor and the memory space is limited, isn't it? Okay, so now in that limited resource, in that limited space, how to handle or execute a huge volume of data? If you see today's RAM, basically in a modern PC, you will get a RAM size of 16 GB, isn't it? 16 GB of RAM. But if the data size is more than say suppose 100 GB, then what you will do? What are the ways to handle such kind of data? So those procedures will learn in the this subjects basically. So now, what is a big data? You see, look at the diagram. The big data means data is coming from various sources, okay, into a central repository where its size is more than beyond the limit capacity of a processor or a system. So therefore, the big data is a collection of data that is huge in volume yet growing exponentially with time. Okay, so if a set of data is said to be a big data, so it is not stopped over there. It is not stopped over there. Its sizes keep on increasing day by day, right? Its sizes keep on increasing day by day. Then, as it said it is over there, as the size is too large and complex that none of the traditional data management tools can store it or process it efficiently. Remember, if you see your DBMS database management system, if you have a table that contains suppose 1 lakh rows or 2 lakhs rows or maybe 10 lakhs rows, by writing a simple SQL statement, select a star from employee where employee ID equal to this, it will execute over there. Fine, because it will scan that 1 lakh rows or 10 lakh rows to get that specific employee information. But if the dataset size is more than 100 GB, containing millions of instances or rows, so in those set of millions of instances or rows, if you will write select star from table name where the employee ID equal to say suppose this, say suppose 2596 or 2534, then what will happen? You will get the result, fine, but you will get the result not immediately. You will get the result after a long waiting period of time. So the more the size of the data, the more the processing time it takes. Okay, so this is basically the big data. Now look at some examples of the big data. You see, a stock exchange. Our Bombay Stock Exchange is there, New York Stock Exchange is there. These are the stock exchange photo. Now, in one day, you see there is a 1 terabyte of new data is coming to the database. 1 terabyte of data in one day. It comes to the database. So during year after year, these data is keep on goes to the storage space. So therefore, the storage spaces are increasing day by day, right? So now you should find some intelligent technique to handle such kind of data. So this is used. Then similarly, you see the Facebook data or a social network data. Go through the first line. 500 plus terabytes of new data gets ingested into the database of social media site like Facebook every day. Every day we used to post some photos, some videos, some comments, some likes, everything, because these require some space, storing space. So it is getting stored in some databases. So the volume is across the globe, 500 plus terabytes of data is going to the Facebook server per day, and the sizes keep on increasing day by day. And the Facebook is also increasing its storing space day after a day. Like they are having huge storage space, not only 5 terabytes, millions of terabytes of data hard disks they have to store this kind of data. Now you just imagine how difficult it is to manage such kind of data. Like they have to maintain those data without loss of data. Means if you like some post after 50 years, you will get the same like is over there. It will not be removed. It will be there. They will have to maintain the state also, right? And the moment you start scrolling back to back in your profile, so you start getting the historical data. At the moment you are scrolling the data, immediately a query has been fired to the Facebook server, and it fetching the old data or the past data day by day, year by year, isn't it? How quickly it is able to access that data from that like millions of terabytes of data. So because they are having some specialized algorithms. We'll also discuss some algorithms over here in this subject, basically big data. But this is one example. Then similarly, one more example, look at the air traffic controller system. The flight movement, you see a 30 minutes flight movement, it generates 10 plus terabytes of data. If a flight just roam around for the 30 minutes, it generates 10 plus terabytes of data. But now if we journey start a journey from Delhi to say suppose Chennai, it takes around 1 hour. So you are generating, your flight is generating how much amount of data? 20 plus terabytes of data, because they are maintaining the real time movement of the flight with all the video footages. Data is not, do not think like the data is basically the rows and instances. Some columns are there, some rows are there, and some data is written over there. No, data means it is the video file, it is the image file, okay, it is the audio files, it is the like the binary data, okay, or the text data, everything, combination of all these are the data. So it generates this amount of data. So this is one of the example of the big data. Then another one is, let us see what are the different types of data. You see there are three types of data, three types of big data, okay. One is the structured data, another one is the unstructured data, third one is the semi-structured data, combination of both. Now structured data are stored in terms of rows and columns in a specialized way. Look at this, whether it is a Oracle database, whether it is Access, Excel. So what you are doing, basically you are having some rows and you are having some columns. So this is the structured data. Processing the structured data is quite easy task. There are some algorithms, specialized algorithms are there. So but it is easy to process, okay. But the size of this data can also be increased with time. The size of the data can also be increased with time, and the data set size maybe goes up to the multiple zettabytes, okay. So this is basically the structured data where the format is well known in advance, and while storing the data, you know what is the format of the data that you are going to store. Like employee ID will goes to the employee ID field, employee name will goes to the employee name field, gender will goes to the gender name field, okay. So you know the structure of the data before storing the data. So this is basically the structured data, but this is not the case in case of unstructured data. You see, any data with unknown form of the structure is classified as unstructured data. It may be a video file, it may be an audio file, it may be some data related to your post into the web. Any kind of data which is not arranged properly in a well-defined format is known as what? Unstructured data, and its volume is huge. Look at the Google search. You are searching something and it is the Google is returning something, but somewhere it is stored in, all these informations are somewhere it is stored in some databases, isn't it? So all these data are what? Unstructured data, okay. And it is heterogeneous in nature, means data is coming from varieties of resources. So it may be like the text file, images, videos, all every kind of data, okay. So this is basically the unstructured data, and there are some semi-structured data. But it is a quite peculiar kind of data. You see, it looks like as if it is a structured data, but internally it is unstructured. Internally it is unstructured. So for example, you have seen the structured data over here, which is arranged employee ID, employee name, gender, define department, and the salary in lakhs. It is basically what? It is in a structure format, isn't it? Structure format. And here the data is stored recklessly across various storage media, right? Unstructured data. Now here the data is unstructured, okay, but it appears to the user as if it is structured. An XML file basically is an example of unstructured data. Okay, an XML file. You see, in an XML file, it shows the name, your gender, age. Okay, and similarly, just like the name and gender and age, you could have store a video file, audio file, anything. Somewhere it is there. You can represent it through the XML file. But data is internally stored as an unstructured way, but it appears to the user as if it is arranged or a structured. So this is also semi-structured data, right? Am I clear to all of you? So basically, data is structured, unstructured, semi-structured. Now, processing this data, all these are big data. We are talking about big data means its size is huge, whether it is structured or semi-structured or unstructured. To handle these three kinds of data, there are different kinds of techniques are there. The technique which is applicable to unstructured data cannot be applicable directly to the structured data. But benefit of the structured data is that it requires very less processing, less pre-processing before coming to the actual classification or the machine learning thing. This kind of data requires very less processing because it is already organized. But whereas in case of unstructured data, first it has to be pre-processed to a structure form. Then after that it has to be processed through some machine using machine intelligence technique or classification technique or machine learning using some machine learning. Okay, but first it needs a processing. Similarly, semi-structured data is also needs some kind of processing before doing any kind of classification or machine learning. Okay, so these are the three kinds of data. But now you see, look at the graph. In 2000 just, and right now it is going, we are reaching up to the 2030. The volume of unstructured data is keep on increasing. In 2030, we will have a 78 yottabytes of data. Okay, so it is keep on increasing. It is keep on increasing. The volume of unstructured data is increasing exponentially as compared to the structured data. The volume of unstructured data is increasing exponentially as compared to the unstructured data. Okay, and we are at this position, at the center of this position. The more we are moving to the future, so the more we will encounter what? The unstructured data. So therefore, there must be some specialized techniques to handle, or the intelligent technique to handle unstructured data, right? Now let us see characteristics of big data. What are the different characteristics of the big data? So first characteristic is the volume. So as the name suggests, big data, okay, it's related to the size, which is enormous. Okay, first thing is, as a volume is one of the characteristics of the big data. Just remember one thing: the moment we are considering big data, the volume indicates that its size is more than 100 GB, more than 100 GB. Below the 100 GB of data, we can process using any kind of specialized technique, but beyond 100 GB of data, you need some specializing system to process it. Second characteristic is the varieties. So varieties basically it refers to the heterogeneous sources and nature of data, both structured and unstructured. So variety indicates that big data means variety is another characteristics of the big data, which indicates the big data is basically it is collection of data from various sources and various formats. Okay, it may be the emails, it may be the photos, it may be the videos, it may be the monitoring devices, PDFs, audios, everything. Okay, so this is another characteristics, variety. Third is the velocity. Velocity refers to the speed of generation of data. Speed of generation of data means it quickly, every day, the moment you are just thinking about big data right now, at this moment, also hundreds of terabytes of data is getting stored somewhere in across the world. So as we said, the velocity, you see, the size of data is keep on increasing in every second and every minutes. So this is the another characteristics of the big data. The flow of data is massive and continuous. And the last one is the variability. This refers to the inconsistency which can be shown by the data at times. Okay. Nowadays, what happens? People do not want to store data in a structured format. What people want is basically, say suppose there is a form, you are entering, say suppose employee name, employee address, employee date of birth, employee salary, everything you are entering and storing into a database. Okay. Now people do not want this kind of thing. What they want, I should have a text box where I could have, I can write something, I can upload a photograph, I can upload a video. Okay. I can put a comment recklessly, I can share it. People want this kind of entry criteria. So now in order to provide this service to the user, then the underlying data becomes what? Unstructured and inconsistent. Okay. So underlying data becomes variable. It is not fixed. Any kind of data can be injected, any type of data can be injected. So that is variability. So this is another characteristics of the big data. Right? Am I clear to all of you? So there are four properties. One is the volume, variety, velocity, variability. It is known as the 4 V's of big data. So remember these 4 points. One is the volume, varieties, velocity, and variability. These are the 4 characteristics of the big data. Now finally you see what are the advantages of big data. Business can utilize outside intelligence while taking decisions. Okay. Now data is basically the source of information. It provides the what? The adequate information. The more data you have, the more perfect way you can get a decision making. You will reach up to a decision making stage. Okay. The less data you have, it is very difficult to take a decision. Right. Now, for example, you see, you are going to a doctor for some treatment. Okay. And normally what we used to say, अरे मैं तो डॉक्टर के पास गया था और डॉक्टर को कुछ आता नहीं है, पता नहीं क्या ट्रीटमेंट किया, ये मर गया ये पेशेंट. This normally happens, isn't it? But have we ever thought of why the incident has been happened? क्यों वो एक्सपायर हो गया, क्यों प्रॉब्लम हो गया ऐसे? हम डॉक्टर को इमीडिएटली ब्लेम कर देते हैं. बट बिलीव मी, कोई भी डॉक्टर जानबूझ के पेशेंट को ऐसे नहीं मारता है. ठीक है. Most cases what happens, we are going to the doctors without any historical information. हम डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं बट वी डू नॉट हैव एनी हिस्टोरिकल इंफॉर्मेशन कि लाइक इस पेशेंट हैज बीन ट्रीटेड इन व्हाट स्टेज, हाउ मेनी डेज ही हैज सफरिंग, व्हाट आर द पास्ट मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड्स, वी डू नॉट हैव. whether the patient is suffering any kind of allergic or not. डॉक्टर ने एक मेडिसिन दे दिया, पेशेंट को एलर्जिक हो गया, अटैक आ गया, मर गया हो. So this is what happens because the doctor doesn't have any past information. But if the doctor will enter a, say suppose maybe say suppose Aadhaar number or maybe say suppose PAN number or any unique number, okay, then if the doctor is able to view the entire past history of the patient year by year, day by day, everything, all past history, like when the patient was admitted, when he was diagnosed with some diseases, what are the past medical records, then the doctor can easily find it out, like in what stage the patient is right now, what is the exact situation he is suffering or the condition he is suffering, and what should be the appropriate diagnosis for this. The doctor will immediately find it out. So businesses can utilize outside intelligence while taking decisions. Similarly, improved customer service. I think all of you have suffered this thing. If you have certain problems in your bank account, we used to call your customer care of the concerned bank, maybe customer care of the particular mobile company. Every time you call the customer care, they will ask you what is your name, what is your date of birth, what is your father's name for the confirmation. Once they have confirmed, after they will ask you what is your query, and you said the queries, then they will, okay, we have noted your query, and in 2 to 3 business days your query will be resolved. Then you switch off the phone and then put the phone off. Then after 2 days you will get an email that your query has been resolved, but your query is never resolved at all. हुआ ही नहीं query solve, लेकिन उन लोगों के पास ऐसे मैसेज आ जाता है कि हाँ query resolve हो गया. Then again you call the customer care. Again the customer care executive will ask you your name, date of birth, father's name for the verification, and surprisingly after that the same customer care executive will ask you what is your query. Second time you will explain your queries, but after third time what will happen? You will feel irritated. अरे 10 बार कॉल कर रहा हूँ, 10 बार मैं अपना क्वेरी बताऊंगा, आप शुरू से आप सारा सुनोगे, फिर उसके बाद कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं हो रहा है. Why it is happening? Because they are not storing your data. They are not storing your data as per the guidelines of the Supreme Court. They are not storing your data. That is why, as they are not storing your data, so that is why they are unable to provide the improved customer service. But if there are some ways to store your past data in details, everything, then you will definitely get one improved customer service. The moment you will call, immediately the executive will just tell you like, okay, your last query was this, the last time this thing was happened, right now at this stage, so now this thing will happen, how many days it will take, and when it will be resolved, everything in pinpointed solution. Okay. Similarly, early identification of risk to the product or services, if any. Okay, so this is the benefit of big data. Early identification of risks means, so you are launching a product. Okay, now what are the possible risks it may be associated, that you can easily identify. Recently, as I just spoke to the system previously, the government of India has launched the vaccine, or the whole world, different countries has launched the vaccine quickly, just after the pandemic, immediately within 6 months time or 1 year time, all the companies have launched different kinds of vaccines. Okay, but in earlier case, what happens? In earlier case, when a vaccine of, say, suppose a vaccine of the polio, do you know the vaccine of the polio took 26 years to be launched? The vaccine of hepatitis B took 7 years to be launched in those days. But now it took around, say, suppose 6 months to be launched a vaccine of this COVID-19. Obviously, each and every medication have certain kind of side effects, but how much side effect is that? If the side effect is more than that of the desired result, okay, then it is not wise to launch that vaccine, isn't it? But if the side effect is very less as compared to the desired result, then the company will go ahead and will launch the the medication process, or the medication process, or the vaccination process, isn't it? But now in this case, how the company is identified, like there will be no risk at all in this COVID-19 vaccine? What they have done is basically, they have done basically a simulated study. Simulated study means, we are given, say, suppose this medication to the 50 patients. So in 50 patients, out of the 50 patients, we are getting this result, and this 1% or 1% is getting suffering this disease, or this side effects has been shown in this 3 patients. Okay, and the black fungus case has been shown in, say, suppose 5 patients. So now what will happen, and what will be the volume of disaster if it is vaccinated to, say, suppose 1 million patients? So they have done a computer simulated study, and they found that, okay, after vaccinating the 1 million people, if it shows some side effect, but the side effect will be shown to, say, suppose 1 lakh people. So according to the world population, 1 lakh is very less. So then let us go ahead for the vaccination process. So what they have done is basically, they have quickly they have identified the risk before the actual product launch. Okay, so this is the early identification of risks. This is the another advantage of the big data. Similarly, better operational efficiency. So now, if you have improved customer service, if you have early identified the risk associated with a product, Okay. So now if you have historical data, last set of data, then you can operate the entire business environment much more efficiently, isn't it? So these are the four advantages of big data. Though there are many more advantages you will find in the internet resources. Somewhere you will search the internet, what are the advantages of the big data, you will find many resources. But I have just noted down these four advantages, or you can increase of your own if you want, or you can stick to this. So these are the advantages of the big data. So now if I will show you the syllabus, if I'll show you the syllabus, look at the syllabus right now. Okay. So what we have seen, big data, basically what is big data, then challenges, mining the unstructured data. So this we will see. We will see in the next class. This is what are the challenges are there. Okay. Then we will also go through these things in the upcoming classes. Okay. Business intelligence products and handle and examples. Okay. Or also we will see some kind of machine learning tools for the big data. This thing we will also see. But we are in the introduction stage. It will take 5 classes to be finished. 5 hours per hours is 1 class. It will take 5 classes to be finished. We have discussed done a discussion on what is big data, what are the volume of data, advantages of big data, and characteristics of big data. In the next class we will discuss what the various challenges associated with big data and the big data analytics. Okay, so any doubt, anything? Hello.
No, sir.
So if not, okay, done.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all of you can sign out right now.